What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is June the 17th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and where big money is gravitating towards today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points. Today there's going to be a couple Fed speakers throughout the day, but aside from that, it is going to be more of a technical driven day. Tomorrow, first thing is retail sales, so you might have some last minute jitters during power hour. But in my opinion, I think it's going to be more so linked to the technicals, as well as looking at here. So the fear and greed index over the tail part of last week, it did push it into the fear category. So people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily there. But beside the point, a lot of the stocks I'm going to be talking on is getting a lot of volume. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Starting off with SOFI. So far, no news this morning, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. So it is just piggybacking off of the broader market and people still trying to digest what the hell really did happen on Friday. Aside from that, shorts have been really getting into SOFI over this last little bit. So 17.12% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 177.83 million shares overall are being shorted. One thing that might be of interest is if the bigger entities and market makers and shorts are going to try to suppress SOFI below 650, or if they're going to let it run up free to around the $7 range. So it'll be very interesting to see the price action for today. Logically, based on a lot of the data points, it does seem as though that there will be more of a push higher, but once again, we'll just have to wait and see. But right now with it at $6.47 pre-market, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So $6.45 will be a very strong support that you'll want to watch for SOFI to hold. If not, then this is where you could see the low sixes sooner rather than later. So stay tuned for that. When it comes to this company, so Interactive Strength, ticker is TRNR. It is up 54.9%. Huge day on Friday, even though I think the system's somewhat glitching. It does show 3,200% as a increase, but they did recently do a reverse stock split on June the 14th. This is what they do in case you are curious, so you can pause it and read through it. It's the company profile, but in my opinion, this is one of those stocks that falls under the umbrella of grayness, because there has been no news today or even on Friday to really justify any of these increases other than that reverse stock split. So it's one of those situations that the market really does like low float companies, somewhat heavily shorted and doing a reverse stock split. Somehow that's the perfect criteria for a squeeze. And yeah, even though technically over the last 1 year it is down 98.39%, so it going up 50% is still kind of a drop in the bucket. But for those of you that did get in on Friday, it's kind of good if that, I don't know, floats your boat or whatever else. But 63.6% of the free float is being shorted. Utilization is 100%, and roughly 272,000 shares is being shorted. So like I said, this meets the criteria of what 2024 really likes to squeeze. As far as why, I'm not really sure. Some key points to watch for today, though, with it at $4.33 now, it is between this S3 and this S2. So just watch for that 288 support to hold, which would be kind of a crazy pullback. So definitely tread cautiously with this stock. Vice versa, $4.54 will be that next strong target / resistance. Given logic and the lack of news, I don't think it's justified for this S2 to be touched. Rather, it might be kind of gravitating towards this S3 throughout the day. But once again, sometimes logic doesn't always make sense. So that is one of those mysteries of 2024. This company right here, I'm not going to butcher their name, but ticker's SCNI. It is up 89.11%. No official news today. Last news came out on June the 13th, but they did submit a SEC document, a 6K, on Friday, and so in that it gave some pretty good operational updates. I didn't go through all of it, it's 48 pages, but from my interpretation, it looks like they're kind of, I don't know, it looks like they're doing a lot of big changes, and clearly the market does like that. Again, I didn't really dive deep into this, so make sure you guys always do your own due diligence, but no doubtably, this is exactly why it is up this morning. It's not heavily shorted, so only 1.06% of the free float is being shorted. Utilization 76.69%. account. If you are looking at trading it though, with it at $6.55, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. Very wide gaps. So $3.82 is going to be that next strong, very strong support, and then vice versa, $15.65 is going to be that next strong target slash resistance. And I'm looking actually at the 1 week chart, because if I look at the 1 day, it's already above this R3. So I guess for smaller support levels, just take note of this. So 545 and then 486 and then so forth. So definitely a very interesting one. So just tread cautiously, because it's kind of really pushed high. Again, it's all dependent on this news right here that did come out. So maybe read through this and everything else. Moving on, so GameStop. So even though it was up slightly this morning, now slightly red, a lot of volume is getting in on this stock, as well as everything else I did mention. And they do have their shareholder meeting today, I believe. So that should be, at least a lot of people are under the impression that should be a very big catalyst for GameStop. So definitely stay tuned for that. But 11.49% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 44.62 million shares overall are being shorted, and then utilization is 39.46. Like I've said many videos ago, definitely just watch for this 32.89. I know when it comes down to momentum plays, looking at the technicals isn't really logical sometimes, but in the past GameStop has really struggled with this 32, and when it does break above this point, then this is where generally it does break out. So watch for this 32.89 just as at the back of your mind. But right now it is at $28.63. And finally, moving on to OVID Therapeutics, it is down 63.22% because they had some relatively bad results during their phase 3, and usually that is a very big red flag. I didn't really dive deep into the actual results itself, so once again, do your own due diligence. This is the company profile. So biotech, 40 employees in New York, or based out of New York. It has a 233.41 million market cap. So fairly interesting stuff. 7.1% of the free float is being shorted, and utilization is very low, so 0.93%. If you're looking at trading it though, currently with it at $1.18, it is trading between this S3 and this S2. So the market's kind of categorizing this company as garbage, regrettably. Once again, I don't really know much context prior to today and analyzing today's snapshot, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting volatile stock. You can kind of tell based on the chart previously, but 71 cents is going to be the next strong support, and then as well $1.61 is going to be that next strong resistance slash target. So in my opinion, I think it's just going to be in the level ground. I don't think based on what they put out it's justified to hit any of these points right here, but very wide gaps throughout all of this, so there's going to be a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future. So once again, trade cautiously. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what stocks you are looking at today and potentially why. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 ad, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.